Welcome to the fifth round of the World Sim Series F4 Championship. We're here at Silverstone as we head towards the end of our season. It is Bernini at the top of the Pro Plus standings, 10 points ahead of Gavars, who both are a long way away from Mendeles, who sits in P3. In Pro-Am, it's Gamberini at the top by 1 point ahead of Rybatsky, who's 3 points ahead of Pugliatti. Then comes Joford, Nikkanen, Sobek, your top 6. And in M, it's Niskanen, 1 point ahead of Azikev, who's 17 in front of Pedersen, who's 2 in front of Ojuna. So that is the championship lineup as we head into the penultimate round of the championship, and it's Pugliatti and Gamberini, the usual suspects, at the top of the qualifying session. Over half a second does Pugliatti lead this one, 158.9. That's your pole position benchmark. So it's Pugliatti, Gamberini, Gavars, Dobrovolsky, O'Brien, Mendeles down in 6th place, only 0.02 of a second behind P5. And still an opportunity to improve, though the drivers need to get a move on. They've got 2.5 minutes. If one lap takes about 2 minutes, they can still start that last one to try and improve. But Pugliatti looks good in provisional pole position. Can Gavars find some time, though, to at least get himself up into the front row? And did Bernini just improve? He did, up into P4. The Pro Plus Championship leader. Still behind his nearest rival, though. And I don't think he'll have another opportunity unless he was super quick out of the pits. He was, so might have another lap in this one. Everybody on the soft tire. And I'm joined, as always, by Laurinus.
Hi, Gustas. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this penultimate round, as Gustas already said. Silverstone circuit lap times are around 2 minutes, so 30 minutes of racing will reward us with about 16 laps in total. Strategy involved again. I wonder if we'll have the tire change strategy for this round. A very fast circuit with the famous Maggots and Beckett's corner require quite a lot of tire here on this track, so maybe we'll have anyone trying to race here with that fast strategy and long pit stop time to try and attack the track as fast as possible. Gavars a little bit slower in the middle sector, but well, looking at the times, it looks like oh no, it was actually Pugliatti. I'm looking at the sector times of Pugliatti. I'm not seeing the lap times of Gavars. He crosses the line and he only starts his fast lap, 37 seconds on the clock. Pugliatti has just come to a halt. His qualifying session is over. 6/10 lead ahead of Gamberini. 2 Pro-M drivers beating those Pro Plus drivers yet again, showing well, these drivers are new to the World Sim Series platform, and by default when you join World Sim Series you have to get your rookie license, and these drivers entered the championship, and from the first round they started in the second one. They showed phenomenal pace. Gamberini now matching the first sector to Pugliatti, so if mistakes are gonna be avoided, Gamberini tries to get himself a chance for pole position for the penultimate round. These 2 newcomers to World Sim Series are definitely not newcomers to when it comes to racing. They are definitely fast. Sometimes they make mistakes in the races, but in the qualifying sessions they show how it's done on the racetrack on pure pace.
Yep, still opportunity to improve. Obviously, a lot of things change at the start as well, as we've seen in the last couple of rounds, or at least in the first few laps. We saw contacts at the front between these two. Gamberini, well, looks like he's equal in the middle sector, so it all comes down to this, the final sector of the lap. throws the car in to here, and that's going to be track limits for sure. And I'm guessing that is going to be lap done. So Gavars on the left-hand side. Can he find an improvement? Nope. And, well, I'm guessing Gamberini's lap is definitely outside of track limits. Doesn't show up as red. Here's... well, I guess maybe the track limits don't exist through there, but here's Bernini. Opportunity to go up a position if he can go faster than Gavars, who is just a point behind him in the championship. Can Bernini find that last little bit of time? He can, and that is enough, up to P3 at the final moment of this qualifying session. Pugliatti has gone back out on track to do something. Maybe... oh, and the session's over. So we can have a look through the results. And it is Pugliatti on pole position ahead of Gamberini and Bernini. So it's a Pro-Am, then Pro Plus, then Gavars another Pro Plus. Then the next Pro-Am car in Rybatsky in 5th, Mendelis in 6th. That's P3 in the Pro Plus class. Then comes Dobrowski, O'Brien, Niskanen takes pole position in AM. Then it's Samir, Kirkis, Ojunas P2 in AM. Frisch P3 in AM. P4 for Pedersen, and Dovdite is 15th overall and 6th in class. Getting ready to go for the race here. We've seen drivers try out different strategies, but it looked like the no stop has worked. Well, the short fuel stop instead of a tire change has worked best throughout this season. We'll see if the drivers continue with that here. A little bit of scaffolding blocking our view of the pole sitter as we get ready to go. We saw drama between these two last time out, and in Imola as well. Made it through lap 1 most of the time, but a few laps in, they would have contact in both of those races. It was enough, though, for a P1 and P3 finish for them last time out. Question is, can they do it again? It was Gamberini who took the win last time out, who'll do it tonight. Half an hour of racing, and we're underway. It's a very good start for Gamberini, but that's because he jump-started. Yeah, well, it was very good, but he did jump-start. That's why the start was so good. Now he's in big, big trouble. Pugliatti has definitely seen that message. They do see the false start messages on their screen, so he knows he doesn't have to fight him too hard. Don't get into contact here. Gamberini, though, I guess he'll be all guns blazing. And a little bit of contact spin for Mendelis as he checks out the local scenery. Has to go back because he's stuck on the sausage curb and can't do any more. Now, Gamberini, Pugliatti, Bernini, Gavars, your top 4. As Gamberini has gone into the lead, but now Pugliatti under pressure. To the outside goes Bernini, can't do it, but this is going to give an opportunity for Gavars. Maybe not really, not enough. Might have a chance into here. Contacts through the old turn 1 at Silverstone have happened on the first lap of races, but it looks like it might just be clean this time round. Both get through. I guess track limits aren't being applied here because it's a very interesting interpretation of them. Side by side into Maggots and Beckett's for the final spot on the podium, and it's the lead in the Pro Plus class as Gavars gets through just about, but he'll be under pressure down the Hanger Straight. And to the inside is going to be Bernini, who's managed to hold on here. And this is a track that allows side-by-side racing, especially for these slower Formula 4 cars. To the outside will be Gavars, and he'll actually keep the position. He had the preferred line, and now into the final chicane of Vale. can't do it. So Gambarini still leads. He's got a couple of laps until he has to serve the penalty. He'll use all of them just to not get out into traffic, but I think that's kind of unavoidable here. Bernini is going to try and go to the inside here into Abbey and gets it done, but still side by side into turn 3, and I think Gavar's just about held on, but there still might be side by side. Can there be a response into Brooklands? There might be still a battle for the lead in front, but this is definitely closer here and way more consequential. To the inside goes Bernini. He's going to have the preferred line into here, but can he hold on? It's possible to hold on around the outside. Bernini gets the position, but I'm sure he's not out of it yet. Gavars might have a good run out of the corner, and he might have a chance into Kops. Wow, he's got a lot of overspeed there. It looked like Bernini actually slowed down. He's going to try going round the outside. I don't know how that's going to work, and he's still holding on, but loses the position here, rides the curve. That's going to slow him down a bit, but I think this battle will just continue on. Cars behind closing in as well. Might have an opportunity there. As Gavar's on your screens, he's actually, I guess, now under more pressure from behind as well. Obviously, they're in line, so they've all got that slipstream. Pugliatti on the back of Gambarini. Doesn't really need to fight him. There's no point in fighting him. Just puts a bit extra risk. Gambarini stays, nope, actually goes into the pits, so he's going to serve that penalty. Slows it down.
Yep, leaving these drivers to battle it out. This is the battle for the lead in the Pro Plus class. Overall standings, Bernini currently ahead of Gavars. The battling of these two drivers allowed Rybatsky to come in a little bit closer on this battle, even though he's a Pro-M driver. But at this moment, Rybatsky is going to battle with Gambarini, and that's Gavars to the inside, and I think we'll have a race-long battle here for the lead in the Pro Plus class. Drivers swapping places. It was Gavars, then Bernini. Gavars again back into the lead of the Pro Plus class. Rybatsky just sitting tight there watching, and I think he's hoping of the guys to not slow down too much. He can use the nice slipstream on these straights and use those in the battle with Gambarini, who received his penalty. They are battling in the Pro-M class, so Rybatsky is currently second in the standings, I believe. Yep, but he's ahead of Pugliatti. Pugliatti now leads the race. Gambarini in the pits, was in the pits for the penalty, and he's 1 point ahead of...
So Gambarini's back out in 12. He's just gone up to 11th, got past Dovidaitis. He'll have to get forward, but... I wouldn't put it past him to actually get into a podium position, at least for his class. That's how quick he is. Already race leader, 4.2 seconds ahead. So pretty much battle for the lead done, unless something really bad happens for Pugliatti up in the lead of the race. As Rybatsky half a second behind the final spot on the podium. He is second in Pro-Am. Niskanen has had a good run. He's running 5th, lead in M. He's got a bit of a buffer to Pedersen. Samir gets past Frisch, and that puts a buffer for Pedersen by 1 car behind. As fastest lap of the race and running over a second quicker than Gavars in P2. Bernini has to find a response here. If it were to finish like this, it would be Gavars back into the lead of the championship. So Bernini needs to find a way to respond. Obviously 23 minutes still to go, so nothing's lost yet. He does sit in the slipstream. That's gonna wear his tires out just that little bit more. Ooh, as he runs wide. But sitting in the slipstream does help your pace. So if he wants to follow and have a chance at victory in his class, has to stay in that slipstream. Gambarini putting a move in on Frisch. This is for P10 overall. Next car in his class is 7th for Kirkis, and that would actually be for a podium spot in Pro-Am. So you could really limit the damage here. And, I think he can still catch up. Now, actually, Rybatsky is putting pressure on the Pro Plus car of Bernini. He's gonna go outside, inside, picks the inside into here, and can he hold on the inside? We saw a car hold on the outside, but actually super duper wide from Bernini. But, well, he rejoined in front, actually. Now Rybatsky to the inside, contact spin. And that answers that question. Oh, a little bit more contact. Now, Niskanen, the AM car, is into a, because that was O'Brien getting tagged. Niskanen in the AM car now goes up into a podium spot overall. Pugliatti, another fastest lap of the race, as you do. And Rybatsky now battling for second place in Pro-Am. Good news for Gambarini. This spin, well, Gambarini might actually come back to P2 in class if he has enough pace, and normally he does. And I'm sure Bernini has some damage, at least on that front end. He did get tagged by O'Brien. Well, really, O'Brien had nowhere to go because Bernini was moving when he shouldn't have. Here's Pedersen now on the back. You can see closing in down the straight. That's more of an effect of the slipstream. I don't think that's an effect of the damage that he might have on the car, but he's not really gaining here.
Yeah, I wonder how much influence does the damage give to the car of Bernini. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to get back to the back end of Gavars. Gavars currently now in a race of his own. He's 6.5 seconds behind Pugliatti, 4.5 seconds ahead of Niskanen. Bernini is still second in the Pro Plus class. He was right on the tail of Gavars, had a chance. I don't think he'll have any chances now left anymore. And what wonders me the most is the defensive move of Bernini. He went so wide on the exit of that stove corner, and he still defended his position. So I'm not sure if that's within the regulations. And then, of course, the contact took place. That doesn't sound too well for me after the race. I think it's high chances for some sort
Pedersen
of a penalty.
into the pits. Early stop. Did he want to get away from the traffic? Maybe. Gambarini now up to 7th overall. Remember, he served the drive-through penalty. That's about a 20-second... Well, not a 20-second loss. We can actually have a look maybe how far away he is from the race lead. I'm trying to see. 19. So it is about a 20-second loss. So he's really recovering well. 19.6. So yeah, about 20 seconds. Depending on who's running quicker. Actually, Pugliatti's running much quicker, so it could be about 15 for a drive-through. Kirkis battling with Rybatsky. This is for second place in Pro-Am. Problem for them is they've got a shark hunting them in Gambarini, who wants that second position, and this might become a battle for the final spot on the podium, and I think it will. 18 minutes to go, so almost halfway through the race as these two battle on this track, working really well to have battles and drivers to be able to continue those battles. These slower cars not so affected by air wash as they go side by, well, almost side by side into Maggots Beckett's. Bernini has now closed into this little group of cars, And look at right behind them, that's Gambarini, who's running so much quicker than them ahead. He's got the opportunity here. Now trying to break the slipstream, but not much you can do. Actually, now Kyrgios stays to the outside behind Rybatsky. Doesn't want to follow in his tracks and use his slipstream. Pretty much everybody on hards except Pedersen, who's changed tires, I believe. Pugliatti, another fastest lap of the race. So this battle continues on. Gambarini now only a second from the back of this pack, under a second from the back of this pack. He's on a mission here. Still has a chance at an overall podium, even. I don't think he can catch up to Gavaris. Gavaris is putting in a decent, well, not a decent, he's putting in a good performance up in second place. He's already got a gap of 6 seconds to Niskanen, who's got almost 5 back to Rybatsky. As Gambarini tries to close in on this pack, it's going to be more difficult to make the move because, well, the car ahead of him, Bernini, he's got the slipstream of 2 cars in front of him. So he's running quick as well, but Gambarini does have the pace. Kyrgios, I think he went to the inside. He did a little bit of a wiggle, but he's going to go around the outside, and wow, he just drove off the track.
Oh, that close battle, it was definitely interesting, but I think it was a mistake by Kyrgios. I think
he got scared. Well, he got scared. It was Rybatsky who went off a little bit. And then, well, Kyrgios just straightened out his wheel and said, nope, not for me, and he went right off the road. So now Bernini up into P4, but here comes Gambarini. Whoa, big block. And a late move from Rybatsky there. I don't know if he knew that Gambarini was there, but Gambarini backs out of that one. Trying to get a good exit on to the hangar straight, and I think he's gonna have a big overspeed here. Already closing in. Remember, Bernini has some damage for sure. Rybatsky might as well. Those were the 2 cars that had contact previously as they go in almost side by side. These 2 in front are not actually battling for class position, but this opens up a chance for Gambarini, who goes to the inside and back up to P2 in class. So yes, he's lost any chance of the win in class, but he's up to P2 in class, so he's back to where he started, even if he's in a different spot overall.
Yep, Bernini still trying to hold on Gambarini, but made a mistake by himself, and that was an easy overtake for Gambarini. He's now gonna start the chase down to P2 overall. He doesn't need to. He's back into the second position in class. It's really gonna be very hard for him to chase for the lead, but well, remember, we've seen these drivers, Pugliatti and Gambarini, being the fastest drivers on the grid. But sometimes, or actually not sometimes, in every past race they made some sort of mistakes, like bigger ones or smaller ones, so nothing is lost yet. So Gambarini lost about 20 seconds with that penalty, so I think he needs to try to keep up the pressure, keep up with the pace, maybe try and catch up with Niskanen and Gavars just for fun and keep that pressure high. To try and finish off this race. Now we have another man who is basically invisible in this race. That's Matas Mendelis, the driver who spun or was in a battle and got hit in the opening lap. And what he did was go straight into the pit lane. He's now up to 11th, actually to 10th. Is that Rybatsky? That was Rybatsky off the racetrack. So Rybatsky troubles continue on here in this race. Mendelis up to P10, pit stop out of the way. He also has a pretty decent chance to finish off this race.
Out of the way?
Remember,
he spun on lap 1.
Yep, he was
down in last, but was he in the pits?
Yep, I think he was. Well, the stats of the pits show us that he was in the pit lane. Sometimes the stats stuck. Well, you see, no other driver was in the pit lane when we know that Pettersson was already in the pit lane, but the number, well, the count of 1
Gambarini
suggests
was in
me.
the pit lane as well, so...
Yep, but sometimes the system works, sometimes it doesn't. But if it shows 1, that means the driver definitely had to go through the pit lane at least once. So I think Mendeles went straight into the pit lane after that contact. Or that spin. He was last, and then he started to climb up the ladder slightly, and he's now up to P10 overall. That makes him fourth.
He has really pitted. He's in a good position. He would be sitting about second in Pro Plus. That would be pretty good. Obviously, he had a lot of running alone, and he's had good lap times. Maybe he has pitted, and that's something we just missed while looking at those first couple of laps in the race. Obviously, we'll know 9/10 slower than Pugliati's. So Pugliati putting in a dominant performance here.
Yep, I don't think anything can scare off now Pugliati. He just needs to bring that car home. To have a good fight in the championship in the Pro-Am class. He's gonna put up a fight to Gambarini. So Gambarini is gonna finish second, and they should swap places. Pugliati is currently third in the standings. Rybatsky is second, and Gambarini first. Only 4 points separate these 3 drivers in that battle. And Pugliati is looking to make a good amount of points from this penultimate round. They didn't start in the first round, so every round they race at matters. They have to finish the next round also to be in that battle for the championship. But I'm pretty sure they'll be here in 2 weeks' time and give us a nice battle. Both drivers are equally fast, Pugliati and Gambarini, sometimes making mistakes. Mistakes like false starts for Gambarini in this race. And he's still racing to finish at least third in the overall standings.
Well, I mean, because the overall doesn't matter here in this series, he's recovered to where he started from. Could he have challenged Pugliati? Probably. He was holding him up in that first lap of the race, or first 2 laps of the race. Right now, the pace that Pugliati has been able to show, obviously running in the clean air, but it's been something else. I don't know if Gambarini could have held on for long. Samir versus O'Brien battle for position right now for final spot on the podium in the Pro Plus class. They've got Mendeles chasing then down behind, who we assume has already pitted. So Samir versus O'Brien. O'Brien, remember, involved in that incident earlier on in the race. Kind of had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he was just collected.
Did get spun around. Had nothing to do with the incident either. He was far away. But the track was blocked. To the pits goes O'Brien, leaves Samir out for the next few laps. We'll see what O'Brien does, but I think he was on the hard tires, so should only be a fuel stop. The Knight is in 12th position overall, running in 5th in class. Yep, 5th in class. Has got a car in front of him who has pitted. Ooh, big lockup into the final chicane.
I think he was already in the pit lane. He was in closer battles with his rivals. Look, he should gain at least 1 position against Frisch. I'm not sure if he was in the pit lane, but he's trying to get into those top 10 places. So Brian back on track, 10th. About 15 seconds behind Mendeles now. Do we have a 20 seconds pit stop delta? It should be about right. Mendeles was about 5 seconds behind O'Brien when he went into the pit lane. So if Mendeles made that mistakes that pit stop that we assume he did, he's definitely looking quite good actually. His closest rival is Bernini, and Mendelis is about 13 seconds behind Bernini now. So if the pit stop delta is 20 seconds, he should end off about 7 seconds ahead of Bernini. That would make him second in the Pro Plus class. So after that mistake that he had in the opening lap, that makes the race a little bit more fun for Mendelis. Of course, Bernini had that incident with Rybatsky. Niskanen into the pit lane, giving the easy on-track position for now for Gamberini. Gamberini was in the pit lane, but only for a drive-through penalty, so most of the drivers still wait for their chance to enter the pit lane. Gamberini 12 seconds behind Gavars. Sometimes, look, Gavars was a slightly faster, so they are basically par on pace here during this race. Looks like only Pugliatti has that phenomenal speed here on the asphalt of virtual Silverstone racetrack. As Niskanen gets back onto the racetrack, did Mendelis overtake him, or did Niskanen get back onto the track right behind Mendelis? Mendelis pulling away.
Well, Niskanen just pitted. He just came out of the pits.
Yep, Niskanen just came out of the pits, and he's slightly slower. Well, he's in the lead of the M class. Ojunas is second, so this looks to be a good performance for Niskanen in his own class, looking for a class win.
Pretty much a guaranteed class when he was running in a podium spot overall before his pit stop. He'll lose that position now to Mendelis and likely Gamberini, but even a top 5 finish for an M car, beating a large group of Pro and Pro M cars, that's a good achievement, and I'm sure he'll be looking at an upgrade for next season. 5 minutes 40 to go as Samir spins round. Rejoin safely, please. That doesn't look great, but I don't know if that hindered Rybatsky too much. Good line of sight through there, though.
Yeah, maybe he was frightened just a little bit, but then everything sorted out well. Rybatsky still running with that damaged front wing, and yeah, he's looking for a 4th place finish here in the Pro-Am class. And he is.
Kirkis hasn't pitted though, so that's, I think, the final question mark in that. Samir comes into the pits. He was battling O'Brien, but that battle is gone as he had a spin, so O'Brien gets forward. Now it's the stop and go for speeding in the pits. 10-second stop and go, so that's about a 30-second penalty. Must have gone in quite quick. But the battles have calmed down. It was a very frantic start to the race. It has definitely gone into a rhythm. Still waiting for the final few pit stops to be done. Normally should happen this lap and next lap. 4 minutes to go on the race clock. Leaders coming into the final sector. So he'll start 2 laps to go into the pits. Your race leader.
Onto the grass.
Did he hit the wall on entry?
He definitely clipped the grass. Maybe he also hit the wall because it's very close to the tarmac.
Gavars into the pits as well. Nobody waiting. So this is 2 to go as Gamberini stays out.
Yep, he'll take that final lap, and after this one, he'll definitely go.
Well.
Yep, these drivers are leaving the pit stop for the last lap. Oh, Kirkis also receiving a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, so this is good news for Rybatsky now. He just needs to be very careful while entering the pit lane. Rybatsky was also not into the pits, right? He just had those contacts, mistakes, and spins, I believe. So he also has to pit, and he's right off into the pits. This is good news for Rybatsky, because that penalty for Kirkis is gonna give Rybatsky third place in the Pro-Am class, and this is a very important position to gain, because, well, Rybatsky would have lost much more valuable points if he'll finish third. That's not going to be too bad. He'll drop to third in the overall class, but will not lose too many points, as he could. Gavars back onto the racetrack behind Bernini. This is a battle for position between Bernini and Gavars, two Pro Plus leaders, but the biggest difference here is that Bernini will need to go off into the pit lane by the end of this lap. If he doesn't, he'll receive a penalty, because, well, there is the mandatory stop rule, and you need to take it with at least 1 minute of race time on the clock. He needs to be careful, though, to not make a big mistake here and get stuck somewhere on the racetrack. Just to save that spot, Gavars, I think he knows that his rival needs to pit, so he just sits there tightly. Is he going on for a move? You don't need to do that. This is a risky move, but well, when you have that run, why not use it? Bernini doesn't have straight line speed. Look how much faster into the corner.
That rear wing is bent as well, so Bernini into the pits. Gamberini's gone into the pits as well. This is the final opportunity. They have to do it before 1 minute to go, though that just completes his penalty. Mendeles stays out, so he did complete that pit stop. Now, it's all about that final lap. Everybody had to pit before the clock ticked down to 1 minute to go. It is the final lap of the race. And where does Mendeles rejoin? Gavars has gone through where he is in respect to Bernini. Bernini coming out of the pit lane. I think he's come off the limiter already. Nope, he's only just stopped. So Mendeles easily up into P2 in class and P3 overall. Gamberini's gone into P4 overall. And Niskanen in P5 overall. Kirkis comes in to serve his stop-and-go penalty.
Yep, Rybatsky goes through.
Pugliatti leads in Pro-Am ahead of Gamberini and Rybatsky. For Pro Plus, it's Gavars, Mendeles, and Bernini. And in Am, it's Niskanen, Ojunas down in 10th, and the next car is Pedersen down in 11th. But the clock's ticking down. Gamberini could have been a bit closer to Mendeles, but that's not going to have any effect on his position in the race. As here's your race leader. We didn't look too much at him. We didn't have the cameras on him because he was driving out there alone. Almost a 15-second gap in the lead. He escaped with Gamberini in the first few laps. Gamberini served that penalty, and Pugliatti was free to run. He set the fastest lap of the race by far, and he kept setting them all the way through. Pugliatti is gonna take the win here and is gonna take the lead of the Pro-Am Championship as well. More championship ramifications behind, as Gavars is going to come through the final chicane. He'll be the one who takes the lead in Pro Plus as we'll head into that final round of the championship. Gavars P2 and new leader in the Pro Plus Championship. Mendeles will come home in third. Gamberini will come home in fourth as the timing screen starts to go crazy, as it always does at the end of these races. Niskanen takes the win in Am, and by a huge, huge margin as well. That extends his lead at the top of the championship. Bernini back home in P3 in the Pro Plus class. They'll all have a chance to improve their positions, and it will be a championship fight in that final round. We'll be heading to Barcelona for our final round of the season. That will be in exactly 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, we'll have Pedersen battle with Samir, but that is, well, just for overall position, nothing in class. He just went off the road.
Yeah.
And give the position. Okay. Right. Events on World Sim Series. Thursday, this Thursday, we'll be having the BATCC Championship, the first round of that championship. And this weekend, on Saturday, it's the 12 hours of Sebring on World Sim Series with the all-new Race Sim Studio cars. But for this race, we can go through the results one more time. Pugliatti ahead of Gavars, ahead of Mendelis and Gamberini. Pugliatti won in Pro-Am. The winner in Pro Plus was Gavars. Then comes Niskanen, winner in Am. Then it's Bernini, O'Brien, Rybatsky, Dobrowski, Ojuna, Samir, Pedersen, Kirkis, Frisch, and Donaitis a lap down and in 15th. So those are your end results, your race results, and join us in 2 days' time, in 4 days' time, and then in 2 weeks' time. For the World Sim Series F4 Championship. For those other events, you still have time to sign up, so head on over to worldsimseries.com and sign up. But that's been it from us for tonight, and see you in a few days.